Good morning, everyone. Today we are going to start the chapter number 9, that is Express.js from the subject Web Frameworks. These are the contents from chapter number 9. First one is REST API, then introduction to Express.js, then routing and responding, configuration, views, receiving data, and error handling. So we will see one by one. First is REST. So what is REST architecture here? So REST stands for representational state transfer. It is web REST is a web standard based architecture and uses HTTP protocol. It stands for representational state transfer, and it is a web standard based architecture and it uses HTTP protocol. It revolves around resource where every component is a resource and a resource is accessed by a common interface using HTTP standard methods. There are some resources that are accessed by some common interfaces like HTTP standard methods are there, some protocols are there. By using that, we can access that resources. So that REST was first introduced by Roy Fielding in 2000. A REST server simply provides access to resources and REST clients. REST client accesses and modifies that resources using HTTP protocol. Using that REST, we can provide access to resources, and REST client access and modifies that resources using HTTP protocol. Here, each resource is identified by URIs or global IDs. By using that global ID or URIs, we are going to identify that resource or the resource that may be a REST client. Okay. So REST uses various representation to represent a resource like text, JSON, XML, but here JSON is the most popular one in for that REST. Here some HTTP methods. So there are four methods that are commonly used in REST based architecture, which are the get, put, delete, and post. So here get means it is used to provide a read only access to a resource, and put is used to create a new resource. Delete is used to remove a resource, and post is used to update a existing resource or create a new resource. Here you can see the architecture, a simple architecture for a REST API. Here you can see these are the clients. That client sends HTTP request and wait for response from the server, or you can say from the database. Okay, it sends the HTTP request to that. That request is handled by that REST API, and that request goes to that database, and server returns the response to that client. Here you can see that HTTP protocols we have seen, that get, post, here patch. Here you can see update user, HTTP get all users, HTTP post new user, HTTP patch update the user. Here you can see this typical HTTP verbs. Get means read from the database. Put means update or replace row in the database. Then patch, here this request for this client. Patch means update or modify row in the database. Here HTTP post is for create a new record in the database, and delete is for delete from the database. Here see, you can see that REST API. It receives HTTP request from the clients. These are the clients. It receives the request from these clients and does whatever the request needs. Whatever does the request means, like if you want to create that user, then you can send the request in the sorry in the form of HTTP post or user, new user. Here our REST API queries the database for that REST API or that HTTP request. Then response means when that REST API has what it needs, it sends back a response to the clients. This would typically be in JSON or XML format. That is the response to the client. Then next one is Express.js. So here Express.js is a web framework for Node.js. It is fast, robust and asynchronous in nature. So what is Express.js here? It is a fast, assertive, essential and moderate web framework of Node.js. It is a web framework of Node.js. So you can assume Express as a layer built on the top of that Node.js that helps to manage a server and routes. So it provides a robust set of features for to develop a web and mobile applications. So using Express.js, we can develop web and mobile applications. So there are some features of this Express framework that is it can be used to design single page, multi-page and hybrid web application. Using that Express.js, we can design that single page, multi-page or hybrid web applications. It also allows to set up middlewares to respond to HTTP request. Middlewares for connecting to that database. Whenever client sends any request, we have to connect that request to that server or to the database by that middlewares. So there are some middlewares are there in Express.js. So it also defines a routing table which is used to perform different actions based on HTTP method and URL. It allows to dynamically render HTML pages based on passing arguments to templates. So why should we use that Express.js? Here, Express.js supports JavaScript, and we know that JavaScript that it supports JavaScript, which is widely used language that is very easy to learn, and it is also supported everywhere. So therefore, if you know about JavaScript, it will be really easy that we can do the programming using Express.js. So with the help of Express.js, you can easily build different kinds of web applications in the short period of time. Within a short period of time, by using that JavaScript or with the help of that Express.js, we can easily build different kinds of web application, mobile applications. So here Express.js provides simple routing for requests made by clients. It also provides a middleware. As I said, it provides a middleware that is responsible for making decisions to give the correct response for the request made by that HTTP clients or REST client. So here, without Express.js, you have to write your own code to build a routing component. If you are not using that Express.js, like in Node.js, we have to write our own code to build a routing component, which is time consuming and tedious task. But if we are going to use that Express.js, it is it is it will be easy that or it is a simple task for writing that code for or routing that component code for that task. Then your Express.js offers simplicity, flexibility, efficiency, minimalism, and scalability to the programmers. So that's why uh, we can use we are going to use that Express.js. It also has the advantage of powerful performance as it is a framework of Node.js. That Express.js is the framework of Node.js. That's why it's giving a powerful performance. Yeah, Node.js carries all the executions really fast with the help of event loop. We have seen that event loop that avoids any kind of inefficiency. That we have seen that what event loop does that it carries all the executions. Okay, there we have seen the row of thread here that is blocking and non-blocking stages. Okay, so the powerful performance of Node.js and the ease of coding using Express.js are the most popular features for web application developers. It helps to that web application developers the performance of Node.js and the ease of coding of that Express.js. So here, since we are going to write that Express.js in JavaScript, So we can build websites, web applications, or even mobile apps using that Express.js by using JavaScript. So what is the need of Express.js? Yeah, the most valuable asset in any business in time. That means we have to do the task or complete some task within the time. Okay, so here you can say on the top of that, many programmers have to have the pressure to build that efficient web applications in the short period of time. So, but because of complex coding, it is not possible. Or after that, we have to test that. So it takes some time. So here, that Express.js becomes lifesaver for that programmers. Why? Because it can reduce the coding time by half, and still it helps us to build that efficient web applications. It is not only reduces the time, but it also reduces the effort. Why? Why it reduces the effort and time? Here you can see that to build that web apps with the help of its different features. What are the features like? As we see that we have seen that like we are going to use that Express.js in JavaScript. That means it JavaScript allows us, or that Express.js allows even beginners to enter the field of web applications development. So because it supports JavaScript, that means we have seen that JavaScript is very easy to learn for the people. Okay, so Express.js allows, or that why it is easy to write the code, because it uses the ready-made functions of Node.js. So that's why whenever we are going to write the code for something like, then we can easily import the modules or the functions of that Node.js in the Express.js. So that's why it requires less time for the coding. So here Node.js is event driven, and thus it has the ability to handle thousands of client requests. It is event driven. Whenever any event occurs, it will respond to that events. We have seen that event emitters and event driven approach of Node.js. Okay, so Node.js is event driven, and thus it handles, it has the ability to handle thousands of requests from the client at the same time, which is not sorry, which is not possible with the PHP. In today's world, in real time, web apps and services are increasing in popularity. That means consider one example of chatting applications. There are thousands of requests, or that multiple people are interacting with one another at the same time. Yeah, so that it can be supported easily by Node.js. So that another asset of any business is money. So it is important to use money efficiently and maximize the profits. So here Express.js is an open source. That means free web applications that provides many great features. So there is no reason that we cannot use that Express.js. So because of these advantages, we can use the Express.js. And what is the need of that Express.js? We can use that through that Express.js, we can develop the web applications, mobile apps, single page application, multi-page applications, or hybrid applications. See the features of Express.js. First one is faster server-side development. So here Express.js provides many commonly used features of Node.js in the form of functions that can be readily used anywhere in the program. So this removes the need to code for several hours and thus saves time. As I said, we have seen that in previous slide, and I also told you that we can easily use the features of Node.js in Express.js. That means Express.js provides many commonly used features of Node.js. That means we can use the functions that are available in the Node.js. So that's why it removes, or it saves this time. Okay, and it removes the that we need to code that. Suppose we have to write a simple code for some applications, and that is already available in Node.js. So we can easily import that module from that Node.js into our application. Then second one is middleware. It is a part of the program that has access to the database, client request, and the other middlewares. It is mainly responsible for the systematic organization of different functions of Express.js. As I said, that middlewares are available. That means we have to handle the client request or with the database. Okay, whenever client send the request to access the database, that middleware helps us to uh, organize that. Then third one is routing. Express.js provides a highly advanced routing mechanism which helps to preserve the state of the web page with the help of their URLs. It provides highly advanced routing mechanism to route from one page to another page or the state of that web page. Then next feature is templating. We can use that already available template or dynamic content from that web pages by building some HTML templates on that server side. That is, Express.js provides templating engines. It provides templating engines that allow the developers to build dynamic content on the web pages by building HTML templates on the server side. Then fifth one is debugging. We know the debugging here. Debugging is crucial for successful development of web applications. What is debugging here? By using debugging, we can easily point that what exact part of that web application has the bugs. Okay, these are the features of Express.js. Then the advantages of Express.js. So there are some Express.js is a popular tool because there are some advantages of that Express.js. So what are that advantages here? So it is easy to learn because many front-end users are already familiar with JavaScripts. If you are you're a technical person, then and it is easy to learn for them easily, and there is no prior knowledge required for that JavaScript here, so they don't have to learn a new language in order to learn that Express.js. If you aware about that JavaScript, you don't need to learn any new language in order to learn that Express.js here. So this makes backend development much easier for front-end developers using Express.js. Then a web developer can use JavaScript as a single language for both front end as well as back end development. This is the advantage that we can use JavaScript as a front end and back end also. So the developer does not need to learn or use any other language for server side development. For server side and client side, we can use the JavaScript. Okay. Then JavaScript code is interpreted through Google V8 JavaScript engine by Node.js. So therefore, the code is implemented quickly and easily in an effective manner. We have seen that Node.js uses that Google V8 engine. Then the Express.js framework is very simple to customize and use as per the needs. We can use that framework as per our needs. Express.js provides a flexible middleware module mainly useful for doing extra tasks on response and request. We have seen that response and request, that is client request and response from the server. Then how to install that Express.js? So first we have to install that Express framework globally to create web application using Node terminal. So how to install that Express frameworks globally here? See the commands. Commands for installing that Express.js, Express frameworks like npm install -g. -g means globally here. Globally here. Globally installing that Express framework. That is npm install space -g space express. By using these commands, we are going to install that Express.js framework globally. Then installing Express. So how to install this? Like using npm install express double space double dash save. So this above commands will install that express in node module directory and create a directory name express inside a node module. Inside a node, if we have installed that node.js, then inside that node module directory, it will create a directory name inside the name. That directory name is express inside the node module. Inside that name module directory, it creates another directory that is express. Okay. Then we have to install some other important modules along with that express framework here, like body parser, cookie parser, and multer here. Here you can see that body parser means this is a node.js middleware we have seen that it provides a middleware for handling that JSON, raw text, and URL encoded form of data. For that, we need that body parser. Then what is cookie parser here? It is used to parse cookies, cookie header, and populate that request.cookies with an object key by the cookie names. Then multi-layer. This is a Node.js middleware for handling multi-part form of data. So that it provides that middlewares for handling that request or that JSON or text and URL included form of data. Then middleware for handling multi-part. Okay. So how to install that body parser here? See, body parser, cookie parser, and multi-layer. For that, write npm install body dash parser space double dash save. By using this, we can install that body parser, and after installing that body parser, write npm install cookie dash parser space double dash save for installing cookie parser. And after successful installation of cookie parser, write npm space install space multer space double dash save for installing this multer. That is for multi-part. Okay. So this is the way we can install that Express.js and then some modules along with that Express. So we will see one example for Express.js app. So here, let's take a simple Express app example which starts a server with and listen on a local port. It only responds to a home page here. For every other path, it will respond with a 404, that is not found error. So here is a sample code like express underscore example dot js file. This is the JavaScript file here. Okay. So how to write that? Here you can see where express is equals to require inside the bracket express module. Here you can see we are going to import that function module using require function. Now we are going to initialize this like where app is equals to express function. Okay, express. Then app dot get inside the bracket slash function request comma response. We have seen this request and response form. Then response dot send res dot send what to send the message like which message welcome to this home page. Okay, then close the function. Then now where server, another variable server is equals to app, see the keywords app dot listen, what to listen here, port number, which port, 8000. Then comma function, that function consists of where host is equals to server dot address, then dot address. Okay, then where port is equals to server dot address dot port. Okay, now we are going to print that console.log example app listening at http colon, this is the form of URL here, http colon double slash percent s colon percent s comma host comma port. Here percent s means it will print that string here, host is here and port number. Okay, it will print that host and port number. So after executing this, what we will get? So how to execute this? Like node, the program name with the extension here, example app listening at, here you can see the it will show the port number here, and after executing or running on the browser, it will show the welcome message here. Here you can see we have given that welcome message here. Okay, it will show the host name with the port. Okay, so this is sample code of Express.js for showing the home page. Okay, so that's it for today's session. We will stop here. Thank you.